Hello, dear Scorpio. I'm Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your April 2021 horoscope. Very excited about what this month holds for you, especially because you have a full moon in your sign. And that's at the end of the month. I'll talk about that in a minute, but let's start with April 3rd. Right out of the gate, we have Mercury entering Aries, and it could be the fourth, depending on where you are in the world, but it's going to be in your sixth house. So Mercury, the planet that rules the mind and communication, learning how you process information and what kind of agility, if you will, you have mentally, will be in your house of health and routine, co-working, as well as what you do on a daily basis. So this is your everyday, call it work life as well. Mercury leaving Pisces and entering Aries should have this quality of sharpness with it. So your mind could be a lot sharper if you've had issues in March with trying to get things done or having your to-do list growing exponentially, and it seems like there was never an end to it, that here comes Mercury moving into Aries that can give you opportunities to get things checked off. You may be very focused and driven now to get things done. And that can create a little conflict with this Aries energy with coworkers or people that you're interacting with on a regular basis, because you're going to be laser focused on, say, the doing or on your routine, and they may still want to play, or they may be adverse to what your ideas are. So use this Aries energy as a way of being keeping your sense of humor and being very sharp-witted. That can also help. It'll help you get out of any sort of call it strange situations or any sort of conflicts that arise. If you keep that sense of humor and that quick thinking, you may be able to find solutions that most people don't. This can also activate more writing, maybe traveling for work, also speaking. And yes, it can also activate some worries, especially with the mental chatter around maybe your health, or maybe you're worried about your job and you're worried about how somebody is acting or viewing you. So that's also another way that this could be activated. And then you're going to have a new moon in Aries on the 11th of April, also in the sixth house. So this could find you with new work or new projects or a new area of self-improvement. Might be mental health, but it also could be physical health, or maybe you've been looking for a solution to something in your health field, and this gives you opportunities to do it. It can also bring in new clients, especially if you're working in, say, the health industry or in an industry that allows you to do writing and speaking and things like that. If you have been feeling a little needy, this new moon could activate maybe someone to come in and mother you. Maybe you need to mother yourself because you've been feeling as though you're not getting what you need from your daily routines. It's possible too that this new moon could activate a feeling like you're babysitting others, especially if you have needy coworkers, or maybe your clients are being very needy at this time. It's great for business, if you will, not so great for the emotional, mental body at times, especially because you're wanting to be useful and you need to feel as though your work is being of service, but it can also drain you. So just pay attention to how much you're giving out, because all this Aries energy could have you really energized, where you're focused more on work than you are on maybe anything else. So work and playtime needs to be balanced here. You're going to also have some extra emphasis around relationships this month, especially after the 14th of April, when Venus moves into Taurus in your 7th house. Mercury follows on the 19th and the Sun on the 20th. So you've got this triple action going on, activating this 7th house, which is going to offer opportunities in relationships and finances and your values, all that's going to be highlighted and energized with Venus starting there. With Venus moving in there, you're going to be looking at your long-term commitments. What do you have the endurance in which to fulfill the expectations around different relationships, both personal and professional? Also, do you have the resources, the finances, or the energy levels? Maybe it's tangible resources. Do you have them in order to keep the relationships or the commitments you've made within them growing and sustainable? The other thing that you're probably going to be focused on as well is maybe accumulating more money or more resources so that you can feed and nurture the energy of the relationship. This, on the flip side, can also create some feelings of insecurity because you're wanting to hang on to something so long that, and you don't want to let it go because it helps you feel secure, and that maybe your partner, whether it's personal or professional, is causing you some anxiety around it, or questioning whether or not they're in the relationship to win it, if you will, because you're in it to win it. You're not letting this one go, especially because you have such an emotional bond with the situation, the person, whatever it might be. So Venus and Taurus here in the seventh house can also really attract the resources you need in order to feel really good, because really it just gives you more choices, which is something that is important to feel alive and free. With Mercury following Venus in Taurus here, also activating the seventh house, you may decide that you want to teach or you want to share with others, and particular those that you're closest to, maybe some of your ideas and some of the things that that you've been spending time organizing. You've been spending time maybe putting some beautiful visuals together, and you're able to show them very clearly. You're able to tell them very clearly why you're doing what you're doing, how it needs to be done, what exactly it is. So, really utilizing that golden circle, the why, the what, the how. The other thing that Mercury and Taurus may be offering is a bit of slowness or stubbornness in thinking. So do be careful about how attached you get to an idea, that you could isolate yourself if you're so attached that you refuse to let it go and let other ideas in. And remember, it's like a potter and clay. You're shaping and molding what the ultimate outcome is going to look like, but you don't even know exactly what it will look like until it's done. And having others, we've been working really hard with all this Aquarian energy, including others and working with them to share the vision, is something that's going to be really important, but challenging with Mercury here in Taurus. The other thing that you may find is that there could be some competition that shows up. Competition is great for growth. It's not great if we are being really possessive over a person or a project or something like that, because then it's very divisive, so it's like, this is mine, not yours, and nobody else can touch this. So then we can isolate ourselves. And this year, we've had enough isolation. We're ready to reconnect, especially as Mars is still in Gemini until the 23rd, when it moves into Cancer in your ninth house. So it's been in your eighth house where it's been working you, maybe wanting to connect with resources and others. But Mars moving into this ninth house in Cancer, it could have you feeling more responsive and a need for safety when it comes to the higher education, the higher mind, what you believe, maybe in what gives life meaning. And really, it's about having others involved and you feeling as though you're contributing to others in a way that continues to let them grow and expand, because you're about growing and expanding your worldview, maybe your mental view. And so with Mars in Cancer, you're driven to protect maybe the intellectual property, maybe you're protecting somebody else because you're going to want to protect the people you love. And so it could lead you into some combative situations if you're not careful, where, again, I'll go back to this possessiveness. If you become so attached to, this is mine, not yours, and I can't protect somebody in the best way possible if I don't know what's going on. So you're going to be on this search to be able to find what others may need and what you may need in order to really protect and nurture and allow others to feel that you got their back. So you may be digging really deep when it comes to something that a subject matters or something that brings you great meaning. The other thing that this Mars and Cancer energy could have you is towards the second half of April, you may dedicate yourself to learning something that becomes a lifetime practice. It becomes a lifelong learning. And that will give you a broader view, a broader reach to others. It's possible that you may also find yourself doing work or learning about how you can nurture, how you can maybe things with the home or things with you may educate others on how to mother themselves, how to take care of themselves, how to protect themselves. So I automatically think of something like a self-defense class that maybe you take one and then you end up becoming a teacher down the road of self-defense. That's one example. Now let's talk about the full moon in your sign at the end of the month, around the 26th, 27th. It's going to be in your first house. It's going to be all about you. So that's your mantra. This full moon is looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, okay, I want some attention. I need some attention from myself, but also from others. Who in my life or what in my life feels as though I'm either not showing up authentically, or I feel betrayed, or I'm not being as loyal to myself as I could be. It's time to let that go. And it may be that you decide you want to change your appearance even, and you want people to see you authentically. So for someone, for example, who may wear makeup on a regular basis, you may decide, you know what, that's not me anymore. I'm not putting on the face paint. I'm going to just show up now fully authentic with no makeup on. I'm going to go back to my natural color. That's just one example. Or you could do the opposite, and suddenly you have this complete makeover that happens. One other thing about this full moon in Scorpio is that your emotions are going to be on your sleeve. So it's probably going to feel as though your nerves are sitting outside of your skin, and you're going to pick up everything. So keep that in mind, that your empathic nature is going to be highly active. So make sure you put your needs first, especially around this time. And it's okay to say to your beloved or to another, hey, listen, I can't help you until I help myself here. And so I think that's one of the things with this full moon is that it's really going to activate where in your life do you need more self-care and what does that look like? So going back to that golden circle, why do you need self-care? What is that looking like? How do you make it happen? And keep in mind that your seventh house of partnership is going to be activated during this time. So it may be that you have to trust a partner, or you draw in someone that you can really trust to help you with that complete makeover or that taking care of your needs and things like that. All right, Scorpio, I hope this helps. I would love to hear how it's going for you. Find me at jamiedawn.com. Like, subscribe, share, comment to these videos. Thanks so much. Have such a good month.